Hi, my name is Connie Gross, and I'm an infant and early childhood mental health consultant for the Children's Resource Center in Bowling Green, Ohio. And today we're just going to do a quick strategy video about transitions. Transitions are a really difficult time for young children, and they happen a lot throughout the day. A transition is whenever we're changing an activity or location. And the key word there is change. It's hard, even for grown-ups. And so this can be a time that we see a lot of challenging behavior. Sometimes transitions are happening around meal times or rest times. And so all of us are less able to tolerate stress when we're hungry or tired. But there's also lots of other transitions throughout the day that might not be related to being tired or hungry, but are just stressful. So today we're going to talk about what we can do to help make transitions the best that they could be. It's really important that transitions are planned for. And so we're going to go through a couple of quick strategies for how grown-ups can be intentional with transitions and help make them smooth. One of the first strategies is to use music during a transition. Music has rhythm and repetition that is soothing and helps to regulate. And so using songs or turning on the radio when it's cleanup time or we're going to switch activities can be a great way to in part distract a child by having some fun music playing so they're maybe not as engaged in what they're having to leave and what they're going to. So in part keeps them busy, but then also has that regulatory part to it. The next thing you can do is to use visual or auditory cues for routine parts of transitions. Like in a classroom, you might have a spot on the floor that indicates where children should line up. And so we can make that predictable and we use that visual cue so we're not having to give tons of directions during a transition. Since we know transitions in themselves are already stressful, we really don't want that to be a time where we're having to give a lot of instruction. So using those auditory cues, sometimes teachers will make a certain sound or will clap their hands or turn off the lights or some type of cue that lets children know that it's time to line up, using less words during that time and more cues. Another thing that can be really helpful for transitions is using a visual schedule. And a visual schedule is good for so many things. It does take some work up front to create, but the rewards can go on and on for different challenging behaviors. But this helps make transitions predictable. It can be helpful for the grown-ups to kind of outline the day so you can notice where all of those transitions are and plan for them, or possibly even try to limit them where you can, but then also it helps children know what to expect. And that's one of the things that causes some challenging behavior around transitions is that we're changing, we're moving to a new location or a new activity. And because there's some uncertainty around that for the child, that can be a real stressor for them. So this picture schedule or visual schedule helps make that predictable. And then the last strategy for transitions that we're going to talk about today is to make transitions engaging. Um, Find a way to keep the children busy, and you're going to see less behavior if that's the case. So maybe thinking about playing a game, like we're going to walk to the bathroom quiet like a ninja. Or at home, this could be we're going to gallop to the car like a horse. So again, taking their focus onto doing something engaging. And then you could do other things for other transitions that aren't about just getting from point A to point B, but maybe like setting a timer and racing to clean up at cleanup time, or finding ways, jobs, or activities to keep children engaged to make those transitions smoother. Here's just a couple of quick tips for success. It can be really helpful to young children if you give a transition warning, which is just a warning that we're going to be transitioning maybe in the next 10, 5, or 3 minutes. This gives them some time to mentally prepare to stop what they're doing and move to something else. The other thing grown-ups can do for really successful days with kiddos is to try to limit or reduce the amount of transitions. So, trying to think about ways that we could combine certain things or incorporate activities in together so that there are less transitions. We also want to try to make transitions short. So, again, making them routine and predictable. So, in a way, they're systematic and not a time that is long, drawn out, or chaotic, because we are going to see an increase in behaviors if that's the case. So, for example, if it's taking us 5, 6, 7 minutes to line up, that's going to be a time where we're going to start to have some behaviors, because the children who did get in line right away, they've been waiting for quite some time now. So we want to make transitions quick as possible. And then finally, transitions should be routine and predictable. Obviously, once we're starting something new, it does take some learning trials to make that predictable, but we really want to try to do it the same way every day if we can, and that's what makes it routine. Routine things help us feel safe. So these are some quick tips for success in making transitions and not so challenging. Here are some of the resources that we have available. My email address was on the first slide of this video. We have lots and lots of resources for parents and teachers and caregivers on our YouTube channel, so check that out, the Children's Resource Center. We also have a Facebook page with lots of resources for caregivers. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.